Back to basics, inside candle and outside reversal formations. This is Dan Max, the trading agent. This is a stock trading and recap channel that I wanted to share to the masses. In a probability game, there's no certainty. Here are my insights and predictions. This is Dan Max at eXp Realty, aka the trading agent. Gonna do a little how to trade stocks, commodities, Bitcoin, back to basics series. Josh was asking in the Discord room, hey, do you have any videos on inside bars or outside day candles? No, I don't. So, you ask, Josh, you shall receive. Let's get into it. Inside bars and outside days. I can find these pretty quickly. Here's an example of an outside reversal. And it's this big red candle here. And so what I like to define outside reversals, meaning, and outside candles, is say you had multiple candles here, 2 days. You opened up high and you closed at the low. And why is that an outside reversal? Well, first of all, you went outside of the 2-day range and you closed below it. So it's a reversal. So when you see these, they're kind of like dojis. They're kind of like any other candle that you should be paying attention to. Not every candle every day matters. There's a lot of days where a lot of the candles don't matter, but outside reversals, oh man, anytime you see them, they should be paid attention to. I mean, you can never not pay attention to them, because if they confirm, you've got problems. And I mean, here's a Tesla candle from yesterday. You have the doji, and then you have a higher high, and then close below the previous day's range. That's considered a short-term outside reversal. And what happened today? You made lower lows today. It confirms the trend. People aren't, again, it really depends on where they're at in the charts. That's what makes a big difference. And a lot of people don't understand that. And so they can see, outside reversals at highs and lows, when they don't really pay too much of attention to them. And I mean, here's an example on the TLT. It went below and then closed up way high. And I wouldn't call that an outside day, but it was inside. But that kind of action should tell you there's going to be some more up to come. So I hope that helps. Again, I mean, when you think of outside reversals, just always think of making a new high or making a new low and then closing on the other side of the 2-day or 3-day range. So if you're opening at the highs and it's an outside reversal top, you should close below the last couple days range, below that 3-day range. And so an outside reversal at a bottom, you'd open at the lows and you would close higher outside of the multi-day range. You also asked about inside days. Now, inside days are interesting because I think people think of them as some major, like they need to be some sort of magic thing that the actual day itself doesn't really tell you too much. But if you understand what an inside day really means, it just means you need more evidence. And this is why this can be so hard, is that, so you're probably asking about the SPY. You have an inside day. It's not technically an outside reversal because you didn't make a lower low and you didn't close above yesterday's high on the SPY. And so this is what you would call an inside day. Well, an inside day, what you have to be aware of is that you sometimes just have to let them go. And what forms are 2-day ranges, 3-day ranges, multi-day ranges. Then you play the breakout. So what I would say for the SPY, it seems very obvious, is that you have, all these tops up here, all these candles. They seem to have, this would be what I would consider the range. This is the high of the range, and now you can play this is the low of the range. So keep it really simple. Go with. That's what I tell people. That's where the easy money is. Trying to predict the next direction as you're in between 465 and 450, it's going to be hard. So if you do trade, maybe buy the lows and short the highs. But here's the thing about these multi-day ranges is that if you break out, you should expect to go higher. You break below, you should expect to go lower. I personally don't trade in between these kind of spots unless I get the extremes. Because if not, then say I buy the SPY at 457, I hope it gets to 465. But if it goes back down here, that's 7 points to know if I'm really wrong. Because If it drops 2 or 3 points, it doesn't really tell you anything. And that's where understanding probabilities gets you to think, all right, in between ranges, inside days, they're really tough to pick. Now, if you bought the open this morning and you saw this close, you're good for the close. I mean, you can anticipate to see higher prices tomorrow, but you got the jobs numbers tomorrow. A lot of things can play out where this 2-day range could get blown out based on news. That's why I wouldn't do anything. That's why I don't day trade a lot. People ask, they're like, oh man, you've been trading for 20 years. You should be like a day trading master. And it's like, yeah, I excel at day trading at times when I want to, but I also wait for a lot of setups in my favor. I don't overtrade because I have realized, just like if you trade long enough, that the intraday stuff is hard to predict unless you're at certain things. So letting trades come to you is really important. I hope that makes sense, and that's an inside day. Let me try to find one more inside day where you kind of have 2-day ranges. Inside, okay, so here's an outside reversal kind of thing, but it didn't close above the highs. But again, at a trend line, that would be something I'd be watching. They're not. You don't always see them, and that's the thing. They don't always present themselves very obvious. So I'm going back in the cues here, and all right. So here you might consider some inside days at a bottom. You have this big green candle, and then you have this inside red day. Well, it doesn't really tell you anything. So until you get over it, then it went higher. Just like if it would have gone below it, you go lower. I hope that helps. Again, if you have more questions, I can do more videos. I can get even more technical. I just jumped on here and figured I could find some stuff short term that would make sense. I mean, here's an outside reversal. The next day it went lower. Again, it might not be the ultimate trend changer, but you see how these candles can see, they can, at least you get a day or two. That's what you notice with it. I mean, no, that's not an outside reversal. You'll see what I mean. Ultimately, you study this. You kind of look for them. They're not everywhere. That's why they're important, because there are times when you do trade, you'll notice it and go, uh-oh, SpaghettiOs. I mean, if you took, say, like the gold range up here, we talked about this is a range. And once you broke below it, it was like, it's going lower. Well, guess what? That's why we didn't buy here. We talked about it in the chat room. I think you were around. It was like, oh, well, we just broke the range. It's like, well, technically you broke the range. So you're going lower. Think of multi-day ranges as like that. Think of inside days kind of not telling you anything until you get outside of that range. So I hope that helps. It gives you more of a thought process when you're trading and not feeling like you need to do everything every day. And again, ask more questions in the Discord room. These kind of topics are very obvious to me, but not obvious to a lot of people. I hope this helps Josh and everyone else who's paying attention and listening. If you get a chance, subscribe, follow, check out the Discord room. There's a lot of assets here. I appreciate everybody. Take care. Thanks for watching. Please subscribe if you like the content. Also smash the like button, share with your friends, and add a comment. If there's a topic or stock you'd like me to give you insight about, let me know in the comment section. I'll do my best to answer your question. Thanks.